we just had our first taste of Baltimore Ravens football since their heartbreaking loss to the Fighting Swifties back in January. And although I personally haven't got the bad taste completely out of my mouth since that heartbreaking loss, getting all the way one game short of the promised land, it's on to 2024, so time goes on, I suppose. Now moving on to the beginning of this year, their first preseason game. Now, there were some good things in this game, and there was also some ugly things in this game, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. And even though it was just a preseason game, this is making some media members question whether the Ravens should pursue another quarterback option to back up Lamar Jackson. But before I get into that, Ravens Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Ravens should pursue Ryan Tannehill, which is the quarterback being thrown out here? Do you think they should pursue him or ride with what they have currently on the roster moving into the season? Let me know in the comments. First of all, let me be completely fair to the quarterbacks that did play Thursday night. Number one, John Harbaugh did say in the postgame that there were several instances in which the wide receivers ran the wrong route. And I don't care who you have lining up under center, if the receivers don't know which routes to run or they just run the wrong ones, and your quarterback and receiver are not on the same page, it's not going to end up good for any quarterback in any offense. Number two, none of the quarterbacks that played had any of the starting skill position players starting. For example, no Zay, no Bateman, no Mark Andrews, no Isaiah Likely, no Derrick Henry to hand the ball off to. Not to mention, it wasn't even the complete starting offensive line, missing one of the best centers in all of the National Football League. And of course, there were some players that may be starting on the offensive line, but it's a work in progress anyways. To be completely fair, I don't think if Lamar Jackson trotted out there with that same supporting cast, the offense would look great. Better? Sure. But good? Heck no. I first saw the idea that the Ravens should pursue Ryan Tannehill by Morgan Adsit from Fox Baltimore and Dustin Cox from Ravens Wire. Morgan Adsit put out a tweet and said, "It is only one preseason game, but you'd have to think the Ravens are uncomfortable with their quarterback situation. No team can really win for long without their quarterback one, but they may want an upgrade just in case. I don't think Josh Johnson is a slam dunk and Devin Leary is a rookie." Additionally, Dustin Cox wrote about Ryan Tannehill joining the Ravens. Here's what he had to say. "The veteran can win a few games with a talented team such as the Ravens if Jackson were to go down. The primary question at this point is Tannehill's asking price and whether or not he is content as a backup or would rather wait it out and see if another team comes calling later in the season due to an injury to their starting quarterback." And he's not wrong, in my opinion. Ryan Tannehill has shown that he can win games with the right supporting cast, including Mr. Derrick Henry, who is now suiting up in purple and black this fall. So the supporting cast in Baltimore certainly wouldn't be the issue. Now, no disrespect to Josh Johnson or Devin Leary, but there's little question in my mind that Ryan Tannehill would be an upgrade over both of those guys. But I don't know if he's that big of an upgrade that would warrant signing and taking up more of the little bit of cap space they have left. Which brings me to the biggest problem in this scenario, in my opinion, and that's the Ravens cap space. They only have a little over $5 million left. Unless they can snag him for the veteran minimum, and of course, I don't know Ryan Tannehill's asking price at this point, and like Dustin Cox said, I don't know if he wants to be a starter or wait it out to see if an injury occurs midseason somewhere else in the league where he can be a starter. But Ravens Nation, we all know how Eric DeCosta likes to operate. He likes to leave a little bit of wiggle room in the cap space in case midseason they need to make a free agent signing, and they have some wiggle room at the trade deadline if there's a position of need mid-season. Ravens Nation, let's be honest with ourselves for just a minute. If Lamar Jackson were to go down, and God forbid it's a long-term season-ending injury, Ryan Tannehill is not the option here. This is not going to be a Nick Foles in Philly situation. And I understand the counter-argument to that is, well, what if Lamar Jackson only goes down for 2, 3, 4 games? Wouldn't you want the best possible option under center to win you at least a couple of those games so you don't completely sink in an ultra-competitive division and conference overall? And the answer to that is obviously yes. You always want the best players trotting out onto the field. Unfortunately, that's not always realistic. You can't always have the best options sitting at the sideline ready to go. In my opinion, they should save their cap space in case a position of need, another injury perhaps, or they just see a glaring weakness in this team somewhere. They have some flexibility to add a veteran or something along those lines. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this was a preseason game with no skill position players, an offensive line that is still a work in progress, missing the two best players on the offensive line. Like, I don't know. I know it's preseason and we're all getting excited for football and we all look for storylines here or there, and I get it. I completely understand that. But to me, there's no fire here at this point. Point is, I don't think there's anything to worry about. I understand if Lamar goes down, there's going to be serious concerns about this team, but even with Ryan Tannehill on the roster, those concerns would still be there for me and probably most of Ravens Nation. But like I said earlier in the video, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think the Ravens should pursue Ryan Tannehill, or do you think they should stay with what they have in-house and roll the dice and see what they can do mid-season? I would be willing to bet Eric DeCosta is going to stand pat and wait it out and not pursue any other quarterback at this particular time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see him doing that with a little bit of cap space they have left. As always, Ravens Nation, thank you for giving me a few minutes of your day. I genuinely appreciate it. If you love Ravens football and you are hyped for the season, hit subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Like the video, helps it in the algorithm, and comment your thoughts down below. I will see you all in the next video. Go Ravens!